All right, welcome to another deep dive. This time, we're heading into the world of Cardfight Vanguard. But get this, we're not just looking at the show itself. We've got this incredible fan. They dreamed up an entire Hebrew dub, like who they would cast for every character, and they put it all together in this audio recording, all in Hebrew. It's amazing. We're going to be digging into that. Their picks are fascinating, and they tie in some other anime too. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's really something how it speaks to how dubbing can connect with a culture, you know?
Right.
Like Cardfight Vanguard already has the English versions.
Yeah.
But this fan, they want to make it hit home for Hebrew speakers.
Exactly. And it's wild because it actually never did get a Hebrew dub, even though it was on Israeli cable, go figure. So this fan's basically making their own version, like in their head. Yeah. Directing the whole thing, casting everyone, you know?
Totally. And they're not just picking names out of the hat. They really know the Hebrew voice acting scene, like deep down. Each choice is thought out based on how the actor sounds, their experience, everything.
Okay, let's get into some of these picks then. They start with Toshiki Kai, one of the rivals in the show. And get this, they compare him to Seto Kaiba from Yu-Gi-Oh! Similar look, same personality, they say. They think actor Dan Schiesberg would be perfect. What do you think?
Oh, it's a smart comparison, for sure. Both those characters, Kai and Kaiba, confident guys, almost arrogant sometimes. Dan Schiesberg, yeah, he could nail that tone. That commanding voice, even a little antagonistic when it needs to be.
And it's funny, they keep bringing up other shows like Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
Throughout the recording, like they're linking these anime worlds together through the voices.
It shows you how impactful those voices can be, right? You start to connect a certain voice to a type of character. Then that influences how you see new characters. It's fascinating.
Totally true. So then they move on to the main character, Aichi Sendu, and this is where it gets nuanced. They hear some similarities to another character, voiced by Sher Cohen, but they think Daniel Magon might be even better.
This is where their deep dive into voice acting really shows, I think. It's not just matching actors to characters based on the surface. They're thinking about those subtle parts of each voice, the tone, the energy, the feeling you get from it. They want Aichi to sound relatable, to keep you engaged, and someone who can carry the emotional weight of the whole story, you know?
Casting for the soul of the character, practically.
You got it. And they aren't shy about what they like. They say the perfect voice is like Sher Cohen's, but maybe a bit more masculine. They even point to a specific character Sher Cohen did, just for reference. Shows how deep they are in this world.
They're listening like a director, imagining how the whole show would feel. Okay, this next one blew my mind. Misaki Tokura, the strong female character. They connect her to Mermaid Melody, to a character voiced by Talia Barkai. Can you believe it?
I love that. It's so unexpected, but it makes sense. Both those characters have that strength, that determination. And Talia Barkai, she's known for bringing that powerful energy, so I totally get why they picked her for Misaki.
They're not just thinking about each character on their own, right? It's about the tone, the style of the whole dub, making it cohesive, true to the original, but also hitting home for Hebrew speakers.
Like they're putting together a symphony of voices, each one chosen carefully to create this perfect harmony.
I love that analogy. Have you ever gotten this deep into a show, like making your own dream cast? It's getting me thinking about all the possibilities.
Oh, absolutely. That's part of the fun of being a fan. Playing those what-if games in your head, it shows how storytelling can spark your imagination, make you part of the creative process, even if it's just in your mind.
Speaking of creative, they had another one that caught my attention. Leon Soryu. He's a complex character, a bit brooding. Guess who they picture? Yonatan Magon, the brother of the guy who voiced Ash Ketchum in Hebrew.
Wow, that's a great pick. The Magon brothers, they're practically royalty in Hebrew dubbing, and they often get those roles with that energy, that charisma. Yonatan Magon would definitely bring that to Leon Soria.
It's like they're building their own voice acting dynasty, you know? Pulling in the biggest names makes me wish this project was real.
Tell me about it. Hearing those actors bring those characters to life. That would be incredible.
All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. To hear more of this fan's amazing casting ideas, you don't want to miss it.
And it's cool how they don't just focus on the big names. They're thinking about those smaller characters, too. The ones who might not get as much attention in a regular dub.
Oh, yeah, that's true. It's like they're giving everyone their moment.
Exactly. Like, take Tetsu Shinju, not a main player, but they really thought about his voice.
They did. They even struggled with it a bit, didn't they?
Yeah. They even said they didn't like a certain style. From actor Aaron Moore said wouldn't fit Tetsu at all.
See, that's what I love. They're not just throwing names around. They're analyzing the voices, how they match the character, thinking about the whole feel of the show.
It's like they're pitching their ideas to imaginary casting directors.
And they have strong opinions. I love it. In the end, they went with Kofi Lickerman for Tet. They mentioned his roles in shows like Beyblade,
Another example of how they connect the dots. They know Hebrew voice acting so well. It's not just one show. They see the big picture, this web of voices across all these different anime.
Makes me want to revisit those shows, listen for those voices. Now get this, from Misaki Tokura, they drew parallel 20 different characters.
That's wild. Rina from Mermaid Melody and Zakuro from Tokyo Mew Mew, both strong female leads.
Like they're playing voice actor bingo, trying to find that perfect match.
And it's not just about the sound. It's deeper than that. Capturing the character, their movements, their energy, a voice that really embodies who they are.
They're so tuned in to those details. They even said they wouldn't cast Shir Cohen as Aichi, even though those characters are kind of similar.
That's a bold statement. Shir Cohen's a big name in Hebrew dubbing, but it shows they're thinking critically, not taking the easy route.
And when they find a match they love, oh man, you can feel their excitement. Like with Tomer Levi as Chrono Shindu. They called it a vocal Tinder match. So perfect.
Yeah, it captures that feeling, like the voices were meant to be.
And they get into the technical stuff too, which I find fascinating. They talked about Kuren Tatsunagi being a quiet character, how that would affect the casting.
Yeah, they threw out a few names. Orly Shalem, Mikhail Reshef, even Eden Gamliel, thinking about who could capture that quiet strength.
I feel like we're in their head watching them work through it all.
Shows how much goes into dubbing. It's more than just translating. Finding the right voices, ones that'll resonate with the audience, bring those characters to life in a new language.
This fan gets it for sure. Now, they didn't cover every character, but they did mention Emi Sandu, the main character's little sister.
And they suggested Lauren Sphere. Interesting choice.
Right. She's got that distinct voice, full of energy, kind of spunky. I can totally hear her as...
Makes me wonder who they'd pick for the rest of the cast. Like Team Q4, all those characters.
Oh, yeah. And the villains, gotta have good villain. Cardfight Vanguard has some memorable ones.
It's like they've opened this door to a world where Cardfight Vanguard exists in Hebrew, with these amazing actors bringing it to life.
I wish it wasn't just a dream.
But even if it never happened, it's inspiring to see that level of passion, that dedication.
They even talked about changing some of their picks later on.
Yeah, they mentioned giving roles to Mironovich and Tomer Levi, even though they weren't on their original list.
Always refining, always thinking about different options.
Shows how much they care about this project, bringing Cardfight Vanguard to Hebrew speakers. It's not just watching a show, it's making it part of your world.
Bringing something you love closer to home, this fan's passion is truly inspiring.
It really is. And it makes you think about all those other fans out there, writing stories, drawing art, doing their own dubs, all these creative ways to show their love for what moves them.
This whole world of creativity fueled by passion and imagination. It's something to celebrate. You know, it's amazing to think about the ripple effect this fan's passion could have. What if their ideas actually inspired someone to create a Hebrew dub of Cardfight Vanguard?
Wouldn't that be something? It's not unheard of for fan projects to gain traction and eventually become a reality. The internet has given fans a powerful platform to share their ideas and connect with others who share their passions.
It's like a collective dream, taking shape one voice at a time, and it speaks to a larger trend too. Think about all the fan-made content out there, from fan fiction to fan art to fan-dubbed videos.
It's a testament to the creative energy that fandom inspires. It's about more than just passively consuming media. It's about actively engaging with it, reshaping it, and making it your own.
And in this case, it's about bringing Cardfight Vanguard to a whole new audience, an audience that might not have had access to it otherwise.
Exactly. It's about bridging cultural gaps and creating connections through the power of storytelling. And it all starts with that spark of imagination, that desire to see something you love shared with the world.
This deep dive has really opened my eyes to the world of fan dubbing. I never realized how much thought and effort goes into it. It's like a whole art form in itself.
It is. It requires a deep understanding of the source material, a keen ear for vocal nuances, and a passion for bringing those characters to life in a new language.
This fan's passion is they've made me want to go back and rewatch Cardfight Vanguard. But this time, I'll be imagining their Dreamcast voicing the character.
I bet you'll hear the show in a whole new way. Their insights have certainly changed the way I think about dubbing and the creative potential of fandom.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I'm left with a question for you. What do you think this fan's passion project tells us about the future of? Will we see more fan-driven projects breaking into the main?
It's an intriguing question. I think the lines between fan creation and professional production are blurring, and that's exciting. Fans are becoming increasingly empowered to shape the stories they want to see and hear. This fan's dedication to Cardfight Vanguard is just one example of that growing trend.
It's a reminder that passion can be a powerful force, and sometimes all it takes is one person's vision to spark a movement. So if you're out there listening and you have a dream project, a story you want to tell, or a world you want to create, don't be afraid to share it. Who knows, you might just inspire the next generation of storytellers.
It makes you wonder, what if this fan's passion actually like spark something real. Could their ideas lead to an actual Hebrew dub?
Right. I mean, it's not impossible, right?
Not at all. We see fan projects take off all the time, especially now, online. It's so easy to share and connect.
It's like everyone's contributing to this dream, one voice at a time. It's part of something bigger, don't you think? All that fan-made stuff, the stories, the art, those fandoms you see online.
Oh, absolutely. It shows how creative fandom can be. It's not just sitting back and watching. It's getting involved.
Yeah.
Making it your own, you know?
And here it's about bringing Cardfight Vanguard to new people who might not have experienced it otherwise.
Exactly. Breaking down those barriers, connecting through stories. It all starts with that little spark, that desire to share what you love.
This whole deep dive, it's really opened my eyes to fan dubbing. I never realized how much goes into it. It's an art form in itself.
It really is. You need to understand the show inside and out. You need that ear for the voices, the subtleties, and that passion to bring those characters to life in a new way.
This fan, they definitely have that passion. I'm tempted to rewatch Cardfight Vanguard now with their dream cast in my head, you know?
Oh, I bet you'll hear it differently. It's amazing how that works.
Mm-hmm.
Their ideas have definitely changed how I think about dubbing and just the power of fandom in general.
So before we go, I got to ask you this. What do you think this fans project says about the future of media? Will we see more of these fan-driven things break into the mainstream?
That's a good question. I think the line between fan-made and professional is definitely blurring. And that's exciting. Fans have more power than ever to shape the stories they want. This Cardfight Vanguard thing, it's a perfect example of that.
Yeah, it's a reminder that passion can be a powerful force. Sometimes all it takes is one person's vision to get things moving. So to everyone listening out there, if you've got that dream project, that story burning inside you, don't be afraid to put it out there. Share it with the world. You never know. You might just inspire the next generation of creator. That's all for today's deep dive. Thanks for joining us.